tips and things that you need to do here for this assignment so you will be able to cut it out. So I'm going to show you in a second here just a really quick sketch that I did, just threw things together as fast as I could, layering them on. And then I kind of took that sketch and I started to look for things in elements on Canva. So I was going, I'll click on the actual document here, and here are elements. And then I went over and I typed in a whole bunch of things. I typed in pop art. I typed in like pop art earth, pop art blob, pop art cloud. And these were all the shapes that matched what I had already planned, but they were already done in a pop art style for me. And that worked out well. Now, I didn't always like the colors that I had with the original, and I did change them in order to kind of map out something that would work together a little bit better. So, if you go on to something like Google and you type in like pop art palette Procreate, then you will get a whole bunch of palettes that people have put together already um, for others to use. And using colors all from one palette is going to give you a much more unified look to your picture. And I chose pop art particularly because I just like the bright colors that comes with it. So then I can just go to any one of the ones that I like. I could even type on something like this. This is the Andy Warhol palette. And then I could go down here and see if I like any others as well. And if I like it, then I'm just going to two finger click and save my image. Then I can take that picture and I can go to uploads and I can upload my picture here as well. And if I want to change the color of any of these, then I'm just going here. I'm clicking on the color that I want to change, and I can go right here to add new color. I can use the color picker and I can go to any of the colors that I've got here that I like and say that I wanted to change that leaf to something beige, then I could do that, but I won't, so I'm going to undo that. So that's the idea of color picking and changing your pictures. So first, you're going to get them all into like layers in a way that you like and think it looks interesting and gives the idea of what your theme is about. So mine is about thrifting because that is kind of a good new pop culture thing that I am very into. So the next thing I do is I take all of my pictures and I'll hold shift and I'll take that off. Nope. Try this again. There we go. I've got all my pictures and I'm going to Control C or Command C, depending on what computer you're on. And that's going to copy. And then I'm going to go to my next page and I'm going to paste. And when I paste, I can then just take this and I can make the whole group smaller to about a third of my page is what I want. Okay. And then finally, I'm going to take them, I'm going to take this sized down part. I'm going to copy it once more. And then I'm going to paste it on a new page. I'll show you an example here. So I paste it on a new page. And then I'm going to take all of my shapes and I'm going to take them apart. And I'm going to put them all into separate areas until I come up with something that looks like this right here. Once I am done, so I've showed you, that's kind of what it's going to look like right here without my words. Then I'm going to go to share and download, and I'm going to go to PDF standard, and I'm only doing page 1 or 3. Okay? So I'm only saving page 3 as a PDF standard, and then I'm hitting done. and it will have this name right here. And then I will hit download. So that is the first part of getting your pictures ready so that they can be cut on the laser engraver. The next part here is after we've got this saved, we're going to pull it into a different program called Adobe AI. I'm going to go back here. And Adobe AI, it deals with pictures that can be infinitely made larger or smaller. And these aren't photographs, they are illustrations. And we need to change them a bit so that the computer knows that we are going to cut these rather than engrave these. So the first thing we want to do is we're going to make sure that we put our little selector on this, this arrow right here. And I'm going to go and I don't like this line right here. So I'm just going to click right there and I'm going to hit delete. Sometimes I need to do it twice. But now I got rid of that background part. I bet there's a line on the edge here that I'm just going to get rid of. Okay. So now I'm going to click, well, actually, I'm going to drag and select just this one piece first. And well, actually, I can do this for all of them first. So I'm going to select them all with a big box over like this. And then I can go to stroke. If you don't have this window right here, you're going to go to window. And you're going to go to stroke. And if you open up the stroke properties, which are right here, then it will look like this. So I want to change this to 0.01 and hit enter. And then I want to change my fill to no fill. And if it changes to this, this is good. Okay, we want to see these lines change like this. Now, you're going to notice that these pictures now have these little boxes around them. We still want to make sure we're on here. And we're going to go and click on the edge of the box so it's lit up like this, but nothing inside. And we're going to just keep clicking on the edges and then hitting delete. So I'm hitting delete, so I'm clicking. And I'm hitting delete. It didn't delete all of them, so I'm hitting delete again. Still didn't delete all the background. So then I'm just clicking on it again, and I'm clicking and hitting delete until all of the boxes are gone. Because if we left those boxes there, they would end up getting cut out, and we don't really need that. So, I mean, it's not the most exciting thing in the world, but it's not bad either. Now, this one I am going to leave the box around because I want it actually cut out as a box later. And okay, so I think if I look around now, all the outside boxes are gone. If the picture looks like this, then it's ready to go. Now, you'll notice with some of these that there are lots of parts that are going to be cut out, and you might not like how many cut lines there are there. So you can also go in and erase those extra lines as well if you only want one cut line. If you want this to be cut with three different cuts right there, so you'll have 3 of these to take out, I mean, that's okay. But if you don't, then you're just going to select and remove by hitting delete whatever you don't want there. So just as a tip for you, and you decide what that is, or if you want it to cut out 3 times there, but I don't. So I would be going in and removing these things. Now, there is one more issue, and I would just be doing that everywhere. The other issue is these ones right here that are not working when I try to change the stroke or the fill. That's because I need to do something on an image trace on these ones that don't work first. So I'm going to click the image and I'm going to make sure I'm still on the single one right here, I think. And I'm going to go to Window and I'm going to go to Image Trace. And right there, if it's all set up like this to me, then that means I can use it. If it's all in gray, you might have an issue and you might want to call me over. So then you're just going to hit trace and then you're going to hit expand. And now we can go back over and change our stroke to 0.01 and change the fill to that. And then we go to the next one and we do the exact same thing. We can go back to image trace, trace, expand, and then I can go back over, stroke, always 0.01 if we want it to cut, and we don't really want or need the fill. Now, you will have to be careful sometimes because, for example, if I look at this one right here, it is going to cut out sail inside, and you might not want that. You might want this background image, and then you might want sail to be cut out, like the letters separately. So in that case, I can click the letter and hold my shift key down as I select all the places. Oops. I'm holding my shift key and then Command C or Control C, or maybe even if I hold it right here. No, that's not going to work. And then I can go over here and I can do Command V or Control V. And I thought it would paste, but it did not. So never mind that. I think for the moment, you're just going to have to leave it like that, or I could come work over with you and get it the way you want. Once everything looks like this, now this one, I wanted to keep the outside because it needs to like cut out the whole shape. But again, I can do my image trace and cut that. And here as well, I can go to my image trace, expand and cut. Expand it, and then change the stroke. 0.01. Now that isn't letting me change the stroke, which is kind of interesting, which means it didn't appear to do an image trace. So I'm going to go backwards right here for a second. And I'm just undoing. And I'm going to try this once more just to see what happened. Now, it might not like that there are different colors in here or overlapping shapes. And if I take this and look at this, there is like nothing inside of it. So that to me says that this image probably wouldn't have worked. And I should go and I should find an alternative image that will work, because like there's no strokes there, there's nothing. And it didn't trace properly either. It probably just didn't like what was going on there. So then I would go back into Canva and I would actually find another image that that I think that could work for me, and then just save that again. But I think you guys kind of get the idea. If I don't want it there, I just hit delete and so forth. Okay. So that is how you do this. Now, the other thing with this is I actually, now that I'm thinking about this, I don't even need to trace this. As long as like it is selected on the outside and the outside box has a stroke of 0.01, then it will probably just cut out a square shape for me, and I will draw and paint these patterns in here. I don't actually need that to be cut. So when I'm done and say it all looks like this and it's all got the strokes and everything that I want, then I am going to save as, and I'm going to make sure that I save it as an Adobe PDF. I would probably change this something like my name as well, so that I know when I go to print it whose it is, so that it has a proper name. Must say PDF, and then I'm going to save it. And I'm going to save it as a PDF. Now, when I go to print this on the laser engraver, all I'm going to do is I'm going to go to File, Print. This has to be done on the computer, the big one over by the laser engraver, you know the one. So I'm going to go to Print, and I'm going to put Fit on Page, okay? And that way I know that it's going to fit the size that I had already made it. I'm going to make sure that the printer is the Epilog Helix, if it's not already set on that as a default. And then I'm going to go to my setup, and you will see the proper settings when you go to page setup. I can't do it on here because I'm on a Mac and it only takes PC software, but I will show you guys how to cut from there.